Hello everyone, good afternoon. So for today's video, we're gonna discuss a new topic, and it is the topic all about the Shannon-Weaver model of communication. So we're gonna define who is Shannon and who is Weaver, and what is this model of communication help us. So, but first, we're just gonna define our objective for this lesson or for today. So first, our objective is differentiate the process of Shannon-Weaver model of communication. Second, execute the process of Shannon-Weaver model of communication. And the last, develop empathy by applying Shannon-Weaver model in communicating. So let's define who is Shannon and who is Weaver. So Shannon and Weaver are both professor and mathematicians. They have their own prestigious names, and again they are the creator or the founder of Shannon-Weaver model of communication. So Claude E. Shannon was a researcher, mathematician, and a professor of science. Warren Weaver had a distinguished academic, government, and foundation career. So this Shannon and Weaver is the founder of Shannon-Weaver communication. So Shannon-Weaver model of communication is derived from their names. So let's discuss the parts of Shannon-Weaver model of communication. First is the sender. So the sender is the person, group, or organization that first thinks the message. So sender, from the word itself, the one who sent a message. Say for example, I am the sender, and I am sending this message towards you, and you are our receiver, and receiver will be discussed later on our discussion. Next is the encoder. So encoder takes the message and turns it into signals. It could be written or spoken, and signing or body language. So just this time, I am the sender and I am discussing to you, and the encoder is the camera, since it is the one who records or encodes the message or the discussion that we will have having today. So the next one is all about the channel. So channel refers to how the message is sent. So just like say for example today, I am calling someone, so I am the sender, and the decoder is the speaker of the phone, and the channel will be the landline or the connection or the phone connection or the signal itself. That is the channel. Channel is where the message will go, or channel is the bridge from the sender to the receiver. So next is the decoder. So since we already discussed about the encoder, which is the one who the one who accepts the message that will be carries on to the channel, and it will goes to the decoder. And this stage describes how the receiver interprets the message. So going back to the example, I am calling someone. I am the sender, the speaker of the phone is the decoder, and the channel is the landline itself or the signal itself. And the decoder of that example or that conversation is the speaker of my friend's phone. Alright? So again, I am the sender, the ones who thinks and relays a message. The speaker of the phone is the encoder that will go to the channel, which is the landline or the signal. And next is the decoder, which is the speaker of the phone of my friend. And after it goes to the decoder, it will go to the receiver. So the receiver is the person who receives or the destination of the message from the sender. Right, going back to the example. I am the sender, the speaker of my phone is the decoder, the signal or the landline is the channel, and the speaker of my friend's phone is the decoder, and the receiver is my friend. Correct. So it's already been like sender, encoder, channel, decoder, and the receiver. So that is how the communication goes. From the sender goes to the decoder, the encoder, next goes to the channel, and then the decoder and the receiver. So that is how the message goes on. So this is also part of the Shannon-Weaver model of communication. So Shannon-Weaver thinks that sender is the one who thinks the message or relies the message. The encoder is the one who takes this message from the sender that goes to the channel, which is the channel is the bridge between the sender and the receiver. And from the channel, it goes to the decoder that will interpret the message from the sender goes to the receiver. And the receiver is the recipient or the one who receives the message. So we also have this feedback, since communication is not only one way but is a two-way process. So from the sender goes to the receiver, and from the receiver will respond to the sender, and that is what we call the feedback. So feedback is the process, reaction, or information given by the recipient. So say for example, I'm calling again my friend. Hi friend, how are you today? So that is the message. I am the sender. And then my friend replies, I am good, how about you? So that is his feedback. So that is the response of my friend about my question, how are you today? Okay? So, but there are times Shannon and Weaver try to experiment this communication, and we found out that there is something that intercepts the communication, and that what they call is the noise. So noise refers to anything which interferes in the channel stage of the model. So say for example, going back, I'm calling my friend. Hello my friend, how are you today? So it goes to the encoder, which is the speaker of my phone. It's the channel, which is the internet connection. But there are times that the channel will be intercepted because of this noise. One of those reasons that they see is the internet connection, the landline, or the bad climate that intercepts the connections of the internet or the communication, and that what they call noise. So let's have an example. A person sends a message and it encodes by the speaker, and then it goes to the bridge, which is the channel, and then it got intercepted by the noise. Say for example, the message was not sent because there is a problem in the connection. So for example, the person has no load. Let's put it in our generation today. If we're gonna send a message through a text message, we will just input the message, right? And the phone itself is the encoder, which we input the message. And then here comes the channel, which is the signal. But then we found out that we don't have a signal or a load. So that is why they call it as noise, that a barrier that intercepts the process of communication between the sender and the receiver. So again, what are the parts of the Shannon-Weaver model of communication again? First, we have the sender, the one who sends the message. Second is the encoder, the one who encodes the message from the sender. Third is the channel. This is the bridge between the sender and the receiver. Fourth is the encoder, which is the one who interprets the message from the sender. And we have the receiver, the one who receives the message from the sender. We also have the feedback, which is the response from the receiver going back to the sender. And we also have the barrier, which we call the noise, that intercepts the communication between the sender and the receiver, or from the receiver to the sender. So again, that is all our lesson for today, the Shannon-Weaver model of communication. Do you have any other questions so that we can answer it? Alright, very good. So before we go home, before we out from this video, we're gonna have a assignment, and this will be passed on. So first, your assignment is to create your own communication model. So you can use these parts of Shannon-Weaver model of communication to create your own. You can decide what's the name of that model and what are the processes that you can add on this kind of communication. Again, it's just the sender and the receiver. Okay? The sender and the receiver is the most important persons in the communication, because without the sender and without the receiver, there will be no communication that will happen. Right? So the next is explain the purpose of that model and describe each parts. So basically, since you already have created, or shall we say, you already created your own model of communication, of course, you need to explain their parts, their uses, and how it interacts with each other parts. Right? So once again, this is our topic for today, the Shannon-Weaver model of communication. I hope you learned something, and thank you for watching. Bye!